So Courtney, as a two-time motocross world champion, obviously you're riding different terrains and having to master those terrains. What kind of things are we looking at?
So I think with the hard pack, especially in the morning when the track's flat, you're obviously a lot more aggressive, probably a little bit further over the front. You can sit down a little bit earlier coming into the turns because the bumps haven't quite formed. As soon as it starts to get, choppy, especially coming into that first moto, then we usually stand up on the pegs a lot more, a little bit further over the back, play with throttle a bit. So yeah, it changes throughout the day.
And then if it rains then on a hard pack track, how are you kind of changing it up to deal with that kind of thing? Might even happen mid-race.
Again, I think it's important to stand up in the mud, obviously looking ahead, and then also I think it's important to be smooth on the throttle. Sometimes you want to kind of go faster, but you need to slow down to go faster in the mud. So yeah, I'd just say smooth on the throttle, try and get off the clutch and just stand up on your pegs.
One of the races on the calendar, the deep sand of Lommel, puts the fear into a lot of people. What is the best way to get around somewhere like Lommel?
It can be pretty difficult out there. The bumps get pretty big. I think it's important to play with the bike a little bit more, use your legs and try hop over bumps, really soak in that suspension. And then also in the sand, I'd definitely say that you're further over the back. You want to keep that front wheel light and then also just smooth with the throttle and flow the turns because it can get quite heavy out there in the sand, so you just want to carry your momentum. The old saying goes is you usually feel your lower back at the end of the day.
Let's just talk about the start somewhere like Lommel. It's going to be quite heavy straight away. Are you still sitting forward? Are you trying to move that weight to the back just to let it hook up and dig in?
Yeah, you want to get your weight over the back and really, get on the gas and just weight over the back. Like I would say most starts I want to be back over the back and try to get to that first turn, in front usually helps out.
So now I'm down here at F&H Kawasaki with Mark, and you're the engine guy, right?
I'm the engine guy, yeah.
So we're going to ask the engine guy all about maintenance. The rider comes in from a race, whether it's a Grand Prix rider or even somebody at club level. What are the things that you're looking at?
Our main thing to check is it's the clutch, it's the level from the radiator water, and it's the oil level. That's the main thing what we check always. Also we put always a new air filter that's always get clean air. And we check the rear and front tire or there is no crack somewhere.
Is it possible that somebody at club level can maybe go 1 or 2 races?
Sure. You always need to check or it's clean, yes or no, or it's full with sand. If it's full with sand you need to replace, but if it's just a little on you still can ride with it. That's no problem.
With the filters, some people know it, some people don't, but you can get like a skin over the filter as well, especially for the sand races.
Yeah, exactly. We use also in wet conditions that no water can come in the air filter.
What about in wet conditions then? How does the maintenance on the bike change?
We always use the twin air radiator screen in front. That no sand can come in the radiator. Also with wet races, that's really important. And when it's raining really hard, we close also a little bit the air filter, that also no water can come inside.
So with sprockets, if you leave a sprocket too long, what can be the downside of that? What can be the problem? Because it doesn't stay sharp like this anymore, does it?
No, if you ride too long with the same sprocket and get too old, then your chain can slide over it.
Because the teeth kind of curve like that, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
And how often would you change a rear sprocket then? Every week? Every race?
We always race with a new one, but in sand condition it gets more hard. It's more hard for the sprocket than in hard pack conditions. So just keep an eye on it. TKO, let's talk about tyre selection and how you as a rider go about
making the right choice for the right track. When it comes to hard pack, what tyre are you going to choose in terms of, for the start and for the actual circuit itself?
When we're at the GPs here now, most of the time the track is ripped pretty deep. So we'll go most of the time with a little bit more medium tyre, I would say. And on hard pack tracks, when we're in France or something like that, we'll go for the extra soft one.
A lot of people at Matterley in 2020, when it was mud there, also used a scoop tyre. Was that more for the start, with the rubber on the mesh, or was that for the mud conditions out on the track?
I think that was a bit of both, to be honest, because there's a bit of hills in Matterley and stuff like that to like really get the drive. And when it's that wet, you need to be able to move dirt, and it will be slippery anyway. So for sure, in muddy conditions, I also like the scoop tyre.
But overall then, if we're not on sand and we're on sort of like circuits like Tuschenthal, your preferred choice possibly like a mid-soft?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, just to, because there's a lot of berms that you can turn in or like ruts that you can turn in. There's pretty much ruts everywhere. So you always get to like lean it into a corner, and then I feel like the mid-soft helps me out more.
So for people riding sand and it comes down to scoop, is there only one scoop, or is there like various scoops depending on the type of sand?
For me, it's always the same scoop, because yeah, it's a bit of a choice you need to make. Like if you go in scoop, you need to know that the track is able to handle it, or you're able to adjust your riding style to that. So if you go, it's either you do it or not. It's a bit on or off.
And finally, when it comes to tyres and riding styles, we see different styles of rider. Some are flamboyant, very energetic, some are smooth. Would you say that their riding styles also influence the choice of tyre?
Yeah, for sure. I would say if it's a little bit like 50-50, if you want to run a scoop or not, then if you're not so good at like turning and going straight, like point and shoot, then for sure the scoop won't be that effective, because if you're like sliding a bit all over the place, then the scoop is hard to ride with for sure.